Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the content we have coming out, because we are covering everything from Future State. And this video is Future State Green Lantern issue number 2, which will be closing out the Green Lantern line. Now this also features John Stewart and Teen Lantern. Teen Lantern we're going to save for another day, but we are going to talk about John Stewart at the end of this, because I think it is relevant to the Future State event as a whole, to understand what's going on with the Green Lanterns. And with that being said, let's dive into this issue. Alright, so getting into issue number 2, we pick up with Digby and Kent's, and they're trying to coordinate the entire operation, the best they can anyway. And what's been going on is they're trying to evacuate this planet, what's left of the Lantern Corps, though they don't have powers anymore, and outnumbered and outwitted, John Stewart leads the last of the Green Lanterns against ridiculous odds, facing the bloodthirsty Khud dedicated to the God in Red. And what we saw was an invasion come down and take out most of the arcs. So what's left of the surviving populace, they're trying to usher into the Zeta arc to get them out of there. And looking around for what's left of our lanterns, we find individuals like Nort on the ground dead. And a lot of our lanterns have fallen at this point to these cult zealots, if you will. And now they've captured John Stewart. But they give him an option because he was a leader, because he fought. And so they allow it to choose. They allow John Stewart the option to fight or to flee, taking him down from his restraints and throwing him a battle axe. And he has comms, so they tell him they're able to get him out of there. But he says no, stick to the plan. And John Stewart fights for his life as the rest of this populace is ushered in to safety. And seeing that the odds are turning, Kent grabs a jetpack and heads out the door. And this is where we pick up with John Stewart on his own, trying his best to hold these guys off. And he is doing one heck of a job. He is laying waste to anybody that stands in front of him. And he lets them know that they don't get their powers from the rings or the Guardians. The rings were tools. Even with the battery gone, even stuck here in the wild west of space against all these legions, they're scared of the Green Lantern Corps. They reek of fear because they know how weak they are, even through their skin-like titanium plates. Their vascular system, their arteries are simply that, and they bleed out like everybody else. And this is where we pick up on the other side of the battlefield. And what's left of our lanterns and Kent is trying to hold off this horde, but they are coming with a fury. But this is where Kent tells them that her world is much, much different. But it's a hellscape. Everything there tries to kill you. The air, even the dirt. But the people, they thrive. They adapted. They're not bloody fighters, but they do have one thing over everybody else. Two things, technically. They're the best weaponeers in the Spiral Arm, and her planet is called Emisk. And when they want something to die, it dies. And this is where we see a giant explosion. And this is where we see a strike team ready to go on John Stewart's word. We see the last of the people flee, making it off-world. And so now's the time. And John Stewart says, infiltrators, all teams go. And we see almost microscopic individuals charging at this God in Red leader. And this is where he gets notification that mother boxes go and infiltrators are go. And then John Stewart says, you've slaughtered billions, even trillions maybe, in the name of the God in Red. So I figure it's time that you actually met him. And the mother box transports Orion. And he says, my translation to your plane is flawed. My time among you is short, and Orion is not pleased. You all who claim to be my faithful, take heed. Know that you call yourselves my vanguard. Orion is not the god of warfare, nor a butcher or berserker, killing innocents and the evil alike. Orion is the god of soldiers. When the cause is just, they fight. When darkness is crushing, they stand. Soldiers live to end battle, not seek them. To love peace and not thrive in war. John Stewart, being a true soldier, his heart is Orion's heart. his sword is his sword. If you were to follow Orion and be the true Vanguard, John Stewart will show you the way. And just like that, the entire force is undermined, and we see the leader completely taken out. And the infiltrators come down and help John Stewart out, and he tells them, you know, you guys have done enough. You literally built a freaking mother box from scratch and killed a Fire Fist. If you guys want to stand down, you're more than earned your right to do so. And they say, with all due respect, in honor of RR U-92 and Kent, who fell today, the plan worked, they wrested control of this sector, and they're gonna stay till the end. And this is where John Stewart says that they're just getting started, as he wields the Sword of Orion. Alright, so that will end that part of this issue. Now we're gonna jump into Hal Jordan. It's relatively short, but it lets us know that Hal Jordan still has his ring. So not all Green Lanterns have lost this power, and he has the ring record. He hasn't heard from the Green Lantern Corps in months. John, Guy, Kyle, Simon, Jessica, he hasn't heard from anybody. But Cyborg had built him an energy amplifier before Cyborg himself had disappeared as well. And what heroes are left, their hands are full keeping Earth alive, and someone has to go find out what's happening in space and see what threats are headed in their direction. And so Hal Jordan, Green Lantern of Space Sector 2814, maybe the last Green Lantern, is gonna find out one way or another. And so they take off, and he heads into space. Now all the pathways are currently down, so he's communicating to work the old-fashioned way, where he encounters a Sinestro Corps patrol just past Alpha Centauri, which means they're closing in on Earth. They're getting more bold, but he breaks through them. And then he heads over to the Red Lanterns to get a little intel on them and what's going on with them. Jessica and Simon were the last to tangle with them, and they come to find out that the cult following the God in Red has taken over the planet, and he barely makes it out of there alive. He continues through his journey, passing through Warworld, barely making it out of there, and he's seeing this in every single sector on his way to Oa. And so he ends his pilot log, broadcasts on all frequencies, calling out a mayday that he's taken heavy fire, and he's asking for anybody, the Guardians, the Corps, somebody to answer him. And he lands, only to see that everything and everyone is gone, except for one individual, Green Lantern Joe. And that will be the end of this issue. Now this will continue in Green Lantern 2021. I'm assuming that's going to come out in March as well. So it looks like, you know, Future State, they're introducing us to the world that's happening, and then they're going to branch off from here. Now, we may get some other stories, but I really think they're going to stick to the Future State timelines, at least for the foreseeable future. Now, it's really nice seeing Hal Jordan still having power with his ring. Whatever Cyborg did, you know, manipulated it to the point where he's able to have his own, like, external charging battery. And it's nice to see that some of the lanterns aren't gone. You know, having the Lantern Corps as a whole fall apart like that, it was just, it's very disappointing. You know, the Green Lanterns are literally Green Lantern space protectors, and we're seeing them more of in a escape from New York type situation, which is really awesome and cool to see. But the Green Lanterns are the Lantern Rings. That's what makes them the Lanterns. And so to take that away from them just makes them people that are good tacticians at the end of the day. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, make sure you're not missing anything we have coming out, because we are not stopping. We are going to keep covering everything as it comes out. Be sure to check out Comic Breakdown and more podcasts, available wherever you get your podcasts. And if you would like to support this channel in another way, check out our Patreon down in the description. There's a link to it, tons of exclusives. Go check it out. And until the next video.